Hey, welcome back to another episode of Combos and Cohesions with your pal, Main Deck Perfy. Today, we're going to be talking about Chamber of Reflections, one of my personal favorite combos and cohesions. This combo and cohesion starts with the Looking Glass. The Looking Glass is a zero-cost Divine Relic Regalia with Omni Shroud. If this card is in your starting deck, material deck, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. And this allows you to ignore the elemental requirements of distortion cards you play. This is very important because this goes into one of my favorite cohesions, which is Chamber of Reflections. So although it is an Astra, which is an advanced element, because you have the Looking Glass on the battlefield, you're able to play this on level 0, which is super cool. So this is a unique domain, Mage Distortion Crossroads. This comes onto the battlefield hindered, which means it comes to the battlefield tapped, and it costs 3 reserve. So it costs 3 cards to put down from your hand into your memory in order to play this. And it says, tap, sacrifice Chamber of Reflections, search your deck for a non-advanced element, non-distortion domain card where the reserve costs 3 or less, and put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle your deck. First of all, not very many cards allow you to search your library or shuffle your deck. So this is very unique in that way, as well as it's a tutor for some very powerful domains. Let's look at some of my favorite domains to tutor up. First of all, Glomespire Black Market. I personally love to draw cards. So being able to search your deck for a Glomespire Black Market using Chamber of Reflections, putting this on the battlefield, and when I have low influence, I can tap this to draw into my memory. It does have the downside of if your opponent's also low influence, they also get to draw a card into their memory. However, when you're aggressively leveling up or aggressively slinging cards on the battlefield, Glomespire Black Market usually is turned on for you, and sometimes turned off for your opponent. Just for those of you who don't know, the Glomespire Black Market says tap, each player with influence less than 7 cards draws a card into their memory. Activate this ability at slow speed. And then during your upkeep, at the beginning of your recollections phase, if your influence is 8 or greater, sacrifice Glomespire. So this is definitely great when you're planning on leveling up aggressively using your memory, or just slinging cards. My second favorite card is the Mad Tea Party. The Mad Tea Party is a unique domain, Cleric Siegeable Party. This has 6 durability, which means that it can take 6 damage worth of attacks before it is destroyed. Siegeable says this domain can be attacked. It takes damage in the form of removing durability counters. And the key ability here is whenever an ally enters the field, recover 1. So when people are planning on spamming the battlefield with tons of allies, this really hampers their ability to continue going wide and pressuring you. And very frequently, it's either recover 7 or recover 8, because they've got to deal 6 damage to this, and they sometimes have to add to the board just a little bit more to push it over the edge and kill this. So at the very least, if they handle this, you're gaining 6 life because that's 6 durability that they deal damage to instead of you. And finally, the third card that I personally love with Chamber of Reflections is Dawn of Ashes. Dawn of Ashes is a unique domain that has upkeep at the beginning of your recollection phase. Reveal a card at random from your memory. If that card is not norm element, sacrifice Dawn of Ashes. And the key ability here is non-norm element cards cost 1 more to activate. So you want to play this in a deck that's incredibly heavily norm so that you don't end up losing this during your recollection phase, but it taxes all of your opponents for 1 more when they're playing non-norm cards. Thus, if you're playing mostly norm, it doesn't hurt you, and it very likely hurts them. What's your favorite card to tutor up with Chamber of Reflections? Let me know in the comments below. And once again, talk to you later. Deuces.